Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Senator Boxer, for having me here. My name is Frank Holleman. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and I now work at the Southern Environmental Law Center. I'm here on behalf of the communities of the Southeast to ask you please to protect us from coal ash pollution by upholding the EPA coal ash rule and not adopting the proposed Senate legislation. The proposed Senate bill would gut minimum standard protections for our drinking water supplies that were put in place at long last by the EPA coal ash rule. And right at the beginning, I'd like to address 2 points. The EPA rule and strong coal ash regulation promotes recycling because it encourages the utilities to get this ash out of these unlined pits and do something with it. In fact, the recyclers have come to us to get us to help them get the recalcitrant utilities to act. 1 point. Second point is the EPA rule and strong coal ash regulation promotes jobs and economic development, and coal ash pollution hurts it. And let me give you specific examples. In South Carolina, we have a new $40 million coal ash recycling plant purely because we forced Sandy Cooper to remove the ash from a coal ash lagoon. In North Carolina, we produce jobs for everybody from the day laborer to the truck driver to the PhD geohydrologist in cleaning up coal ash. On the other side of the coin, I met the other evening with over 100 families whose houses are around a coal ash site, and they can't sell their house. They're not allowed to drink their water, and the real estate market in that area is dead. So if you want to promote economic development and you want to promote coal ash recycling, the EPA rule and strong enforcement is the way to go. Here's the problem. Our utilities, and others I believe, have stored millions of tons of industrial waste containing arsenic and lead in unlined pits next to drinking water supplies held back by dikes made of earth that leak. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Our groundwater has been contaminated. You've seen the pictures about how sites have collapsed into our rivers. We've had river pollution as well as damage to drinking water supplies. We've seen catastrophes in Kingston and on the Dan River in both North Carolina and Virginia. And we in the Southeast, Mr. Chairman, we've learned some hard lessons, and I've learned them. I didn't know these lessons a few years ago. First, and this is a true statement, we cannot count on our state agencies and our utilities to protect us. I wouldn't have believed this, but I'll tell you why it's true. In North Carolina, Duke Energy refused to spend a few $1,000s to inspect the pipe that broke at Dan River, even though its own staff asked for the money to do it, and dam inspectors had warned them, and the state agency never made them do it. In North Carolina, while Duke Energy's companies pleaded guilty 18 times to 9 federal coal ash crimes, a United States District Court found that the state agency, which this bill would leave us at the mercy of, and this is a quote, had done, quote, little, if anything, quote, to pursue a state enforcement action against Duke. In fact, and this is hard to believe too, but it also is true, just 17 days after the Duke Energy companies pleaded guilty to coal ash crimes and were placed on criminal probation, their executives were hosted at a private dinner at the governor's mansion with the state's chief environmental law enforcement officer. In Virginia, the state agency refuses to adopt protections that are even in place in South Carolina, and even the state of Maryland is litigating with the state of Virginia in Virginia's own state courts. In Tennessee, the state administrator said he brought suit against TVA when the citizens wanted to pursue enforcement because he thought, quote, TVA would rather be dealing with us than a federal judge. The bottom line is this. This Senate bill would take power from the people and give it to state bureaucracies. And these are state bureaucracies which have failed us over and over and over again. The beauty of the EPA rule is that it gives us, the people in these communities in Anderson County, South Carolina, and Pickens County, South Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina, the ability to protect ourselves. Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, and Your Honor too. Senator Boxer pointed out the problem in Flint. And we've learned from Flint what happens when government does not take effective action to protect our water supplies. I can tell you, I've traveled all over the Southeast. There's not one person in the Southeast and the Carolinas who is asking this Congress, give us less protection from coal ash pollution. And this is everybody from the Tea Party to no party.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Holleman.
Mr. Chairman.